Hello, everyone. My name is Zeotrex, and today we're taking a look at Shelby Oaks, the recent horror film written and directed by Chris Stuckman. Shelby Oaks tells the story of a woman named Riley who goes missing after her channel gets involved with paranormal entities, and her sister goes looking for her. So, Chris Stuckman, huh? What a guy. This is the main topic when it comes to discussing this movie, and that is, Chris Stuckman made a movie, and so for those who don't know, Chris Stuckman is a YouTube critic who reviews movies like what I'm doing right here, and this has been in the works for like 4 years since at least 2021, I believe. Now I grew up watching Chris Stuckman ever since his Spider-Man reviews. I've always been a big fan of his work. I've always been a huge fan of the channel and admiring what he has done, and it might be why I imitate a lot of that style in my own reviews. It inspired me to do my own sort of film review here, and to why I even review movies in the first place. He's been a major inspiration for all of this, and so I was all excited for all hell for this movie to see this YouTuber that I like make a movie. Now, it's no secret that Chris's style of review has changed because of this movie. It's been pretty controversial that he approaches movies differently. He doesn't grade them. He doesn't do hilariosities anymore, because making movies is hard mindset. And a lot of people, myself included, disagree on approaching reviewing movies like that. It is hard to make a movie. I will say that. I mean, I definitely see where he's coming from there, and so it's like it's not so fair to bash on the actual creators themselves. But I still think that we should be able to fairly judge a movie be on what it does. I mean, that's his call to make. That's his channel. If he wants to do that, yeah, fine, that's okay. But I just wanted to. I just disagree on that. The hilariosities were funny, and I like the more concrete grading, which is what I do actually. I grade movies. So yeah. Um. Now, I'm not gonna let that really cloud my opinion of the movie because I'm just gonna be honest when it comes to reviewing this thing. Regardless of how I feel about it, I mean, he made a fucking movie. This is still exciting to see that he finally was able to get this movie out. Chris Stuckman, I mean, if you've probably know the Genova Witness story, right? You probably this movie was being made in COVID. It is an indie film, so that was something that you have to. While I say don't let that cloud your judgment of the movie and still judge it on what it does, also have that in your head that hey, this is still an indie film with like a budget of $1 million. I think it's making its money back, and so it's an indie film, and it got made, and I'm extremely proud of him for making this. I still really like his content. I'm curious to see if it will change after this. And again, so I have mixed thoughts on this thing. I still think it's important to show respect and to support what this is. I mean, again, it's an indie film, and we should support indie filmmakers. I want to get into movies. I've been writing scripts. I've been brainstorming ideas, and I dead ass am probably gonna make a movie or trying to make a movie within the next few years. And that's not easy. I mean, just alone trying to find people to play in it um isn't an easy task. So that's kind of what I'm kind of just like. I disagree on it's. This doesn't. That's how I feel about this film. It doesn't change my opinion about the guy, and I only want the best going forward. I hope this movie succeeds at the box office. I hope it does well. I hope that he continues to make movies after this and learn from the faults that happened here and improve. So let's get into it. The positives. What did I like about this movie? So the first act, or like 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, I thought were really strong. That found footage kind of aspect with the YouTubers, the paranormal I forgot their names, the YouTubers that Riley is a part of, I thought was really strong. I really did genuinely think that was a pretty strong element of it and made me unsettled because of the way that the found footage looks. It's a lo-fi, which is what I think is effective. It kind of hits that nostalgic nerve for me a little because again, the reason I think I said it last time. The reason why I like found footage so much is because it kind of harkens back to those days of me watching that like kind of blank caught on tape videos back then, and so yeah, I just like that uh genre, and I think it works really well here. Those shots of like Riley leaving, and you're kind of just sitting there looking through a dark hallway and a dark window, it genuinely is unsettling. It's well shot too. This movie looks professional despite again being an indie film. It has this really it has really good blocking and sort of a visual style, and what it does, I mean, there's some shots in here that are stunning and it looks good. It looks really good. There's one thing that I will get to when I talk about the negatives with this movie. And yeah, I think the first act of this film is really strong. This mockumentary style kind of reminded me of Hell House, which was a movie I didn't really like, honestly. So yeah, it genuinely does deliver on the scares. Doesn't like get me jumping out of my seat, but it's like it kind of makes me feel unsettled, like I mentioned. So that's all I can say, man. That's all I can really say positive about this film because while I don't have much, look, Shelby Oaks isn't terrible. It's not terrible. It's just rough. It's a rough debut and sort of a. By the time the movie ends, I literally was like, huh, that's it, and it's just obviously this guy's first film. This is obviously an indie film debut film, and it's a low budget one. And I think the best thing that I can say about it is that Chris Stuckman is a good director. He's really good at directing this film and the scenes in it, the style and what he wants to do for it. But as in terms of a story on or writing, I think that's where he needs to improve a bit, is to improve much more as a writer than he is as a director. Because again, good director, a bit more of a weaker writer. A lot of this movie is sort of just walking around looking. The minor spoilers, I guess. To best put it, there's a scene where she's watching tapes of where Riley was, and then most of the movie is just her going to that location and reading it, and the mystery itself feels a bit obvious. Not a bit obvious, but kind of just doesn't do much to really engage you. And I hate to compare. This is such no. I'm not going to compare. I was going to compare it to Weapons, but that's an entirely different thing. It doesn't really do that much to keep you engaged. A lot of the movie is just Mia, the sister, walking around looking at stuff, and this is where I mention an issue visually, is that the movie is a bit too dark to see. This is something that happens a lot in horror movies that I really don't like, and that's just not well lit uh dark sequences, night sequences. Because I know it's supposed to be scary, but it gets to a point where it's just a bit frustrating when you're not able to really see anything going on. And a lot of people have said it, and I kind of have to agree here. This movie feels like every other horror movie that kind of happens. Like it just feels like this is what this is. It feels like an indie horror film. That's what it is, and let me rephrase. It feels like every other horror movie out there, like every other um hello, focus. It feels like every other standard generic horror film, and that's really unfortunate because yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's not a movie that leaves an impact. It's really forgettable, and yeah, I'm sorry, that's just what I have to say. But while I personally just wasn't a fan. I again think you should definitely go see it and support it, and buy a ticket, go see it, make that opinion for yourself. Because I hear some people like it, and some other people don't. I don't think you should go in with. I think the people who hate it are a bit ridiculous. I think that's a bit too far. It's just it's understandable why it feels this way with everything when you think about the fact that it was just one guy making this. When you think about I'm trying to think the pandemic that he started this in. When you think about that, and I think it's important to point these flaws out because that's what criticizing is. And here I think it's extra important because, like I mentioned earlier, we should be able to criticize. That way, he can improve upon himself, improve for his next film. If Chris Stuckman writes another movie, if he does another film, I'll be there. I want to see this journey grow. And again, as someone who's been a fan of him and has liked his reviews, I'm still proud of him. I'm still proud that this movie got made. Um, I'm genuinely happy for him. I mean, again, he went through a lot. I don't know if the strike affected it because that was a union thing, and this was an indie film. So that's a indie film with a budget of fucking $1 million. That's not easy to make. So yeah, I hope this inspires other filmmakers or YouTube critics who have a passion for film to actually make their film. James Rolfe of Cinemassacre, I would love to see him make his like own original movie, especially after watching that Cinemassacre 200 documentary. That's inspired me a lot. It's inspiring. This film is genuinely inspiring, and I hope it continues. So yeah, and my grading of it, I will give it a grade. It gets a C. So yeah, real quick, I want to address something that I don't know if it's going to be in this video, but just before I sign off, my microphone, my VHS and Alien Earth reviews have a really quiet mic, and I want to apologize for that. So I'm gonna try looking into getting a new mic, a new microphone, just something to where it doesn't sound so quiet. It's constantly in green, but before it used to be in yellow. I'm gonna see if maybe there's something I could do in the microphone settings, like maybe pull up my microphone equalizer a bit. Ah, okay. Nope, that doesn't work. Uh, maybe that will work. Does this? No. Voice normalization? No. Noise cancellation? No. I'll have to. I'll have to watch it. It's also been something that people in my friend people who I've been in call with have mentioned before that my mic has been extremely quiet. I don't know what it is. I'm playing with it right now. I apologize for the way my microphone has been sounding lately. And then my next review, I imagine, should be Predator Badlands. But I've seen some other films. I've seen Sinners and Weapons that I kind of do want to talk about, and I might review them here soon. I don't know. Just depends. My 10-year anniversary came up on this channel, so thank you for those who watched it. And until then, you've been Stuckmanized.